Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Okay, so I need to take that off. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about how do we get stuck in affair fog. Hi, my name is Stacey. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And I specialize in helping unfaithful people heal from their affair. Well, let's say it like this: in their affair, heal from their affair, and grow from it, because you can absolutely grow from this horrific experience that just completely rips our heart out. So if you would like to know more about how to work with me, you can check the description box down below, and all the details in my calendar and everything will be down there. So let's get into it. I don't think a lot of us understand that we can actually get stuck in affair fog per se, but you can, and I actually did, and I'm noticing some of the same symptoms, you could say, or some of the same roadblocks as to how my clients are getting stuck that I went through. So if you know me, if you're my client, or if you don't know me and you haven't read my story, it did take me a long time to get over my affair partner, like a couple of years. And I really hate saying it, because I don't want to discourage anyone and make anyone think that you cannot get over your affair partner, or that it would take you that long. So I don't really like giving out like the number of years that I spent grieving him, but I want you guys to know that it doesn't have to take you as long as it took me to heal from the affair. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is to bring awareness to how people get stuck and what the roadblocks are, and how we keep having like the breakup cycle, how we get back with them and we break up, and it's just a vicious cycle. And I just want to bring awareness to that and to be able to help you through it, because I didn't have that, obviously. So let's talk about 4 ways that we get stuck in affair fog. So number 1 is we keep the fantasy alive in our mind. When you think about fantasy, you think about, like, sometimes we'll think about like the memories, but more of a fantasy would be the what if and the hope for the future, to be with them. I'd love to be with them in the future, or maybe one day, and we'll play out these little scenarios or these little skits in our mind, like, hey, maybe one day we can be together, or maybe one day we'll see each other, maybe we'll get a divorce some kind of way, naturally, not leaving our spouses for each other, but maybe it'll just happen organically, and then we'll meet each other, and we'll get into these fantasies, and we'll live there, and it will cause us to disconnect from our spouse, and it will keep us stuck. It feeds us dopamine, even the little fantasies. So it will definitely keep us stuck, and we want to try to avoid fantasies, or let's say avoid the hope of running into them in the future. Number 2, we follow triggers down rabbit holes, is what I like to say, because a trigger is going to come. It's a memory, and it comes with a very powerful emotion attached to it, and we have a tendency to follow in our mind that trigger down memory lane, and we start remembering all the times that we were together, and the excitement and all of that, and that can be a huge roadblock for us. And there's ways to manage triggers, and there's things that we can do that will help us fight against those triggers, but we have to be aware that going down rabbit holes and memory lane is not going to help us. It's not beneficial at all. It just causes more harm. Number 3, we refuse to let go, and we make excuses to stay in contact, or try to figure it out in our mind. So sometimes we try to figure things out, like, I don't understand why they did this, I don't understand why they ghosted me, or what happened. They said we could be together and now we're not. I just don't understand what happened, and we will spend time trying to figure all of that out, and that really is one way that keeps us attached to them, by doing those types of things. So we really want to avoid that at all cost. Trying to figure it out on our own. Now, what I do with my clients is I take them through a process of, yes, there's things that we have to figure out. Yes, there's questions we have to answer, just to help prevent us from getting in a thought loop. But it's good to do that with someone, especially someone who's been through it. I know I can help you with that, because that was a huge thing for me. I was stuck in a thought loop forever. And then I was grieving him forever too. And actually, once I started to let go of the sadness, it felt like I was losing him all over again, because I was actually like being attached to the sadness, or keeping the sadness alive was actually keeping me connected to him. Like I still felt like he was a part of me, and I didn't really want to let go. So number 4, we don't process through grief. That's a huge one. That's kind of like your main one. I probably should have put that one at the top. But, you know, there's many reasons why we don't process through grief. One of them is we don't really believe that we love our affair partner, and we try to convince ourselves it's not love, so that prolongs the situation. We feel guilty for feeling that we love someone that we shouldn't, so we won't allow ourselves to go through the grief process, which can be very harmful. You can feel guilty for the actual having the affair, because that having the affair is actually the wrong part. That's what that's where your guilt comes in. That's where the guilt that God, the guilt system, the conviction of the Holy Spirit, I like to call it the God's GPS. That's what our conviction is, because whenever we feel convicted, it means that, hey, we're going in the wrong direction. Now, feelings are neither bad or good. They are really kind of neutral, in a sense where there's no judgment for how we feel. That's how we feel, and we have to work through that. And that's one of the things that I learned about Jesus when I was starting to heal from this process, was that yes, I felt guilty for loving someone, but that's not where the sin was. So I guess I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, but the grief part is I'm really passionate about, is making sure my clients understand that it's okay to grieve the affair partner, and we have to. Like, if we want to heal, if we want to let go of the affair partner, and especially if we want to reconnect with our husband, it is so important that we allow ourselves to go through this process and not feel guilty for it, because you don't want to, be sad that you lost a relationship and then add guilt on top of that, because then the guilt is what you're trying to deal with, and you're never really facing the grief. It's very difficult to go through the grief. It's difficult for the spouse, like our spouse, to watch us go through that. But it's still necessary, and it's still something that we have to do in order to move on. So these are 4 areas that you can get stuck in. There are many more, but I just kind of wanted to pick out some of the ones that I saw was the worst, in a sense. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I can help you not to get stuck. Like, that is what my program is about. That's what our sessions are about, is helping you not get stuck and helping you process through all of this, because it is hard to go through this when you're alone, when people don't understand what you're going through. So I'm here for you. If you need me, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any, video ideas, you're free to let me know that as well. But I think this might be the last video in the Fair Fog series, and then I'm gonna pick something else to start. But yeah, so that's my video for today. I hope you guys find this helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.